And now, presenting from across the pond, it's the Squared Circle Relics Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 10. We made it, Chris. We made it.
The big 10.
Episode 10. Big 10. I'm your host, David Lloydy the Liberator. I'm here today with Chris McCarthy. Sadly, Jamie cannot make it today. Before we get into the show, just a massive thank you to Sam for last week from Icon Trading Cards. I know that Kendo is coming out this Thursday.
Ooh.
So, I know, big news, right?
It is.
So, massive thank you to Sam. And guys, get you just whatever you can do, get that card.
Yep. It's,
for me, just speaking personally, I think it's one of the biggest releases I've ever seen in the hobby. So please get on it. Chris.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm not too bad. Well, that's a little bit of a lie, but I'm always trying to keep a positive spin on things. So, yeah, had a week.
Yeah, yeah. The thunder and lightning got in your way of traveling, I believe.
It did, yeah.
Yeah,
sucks, man. Plane Ride from Hell Part 2 to be confirmed, because I haven't been looking forward to this trip with a baby.
Yeah.
Baby on a plane.
I haven't thought about that. Yeah, crikey. Yeah. So for the viewers, for the listeners out there, Chris is going on holiday in the next. Well, supposed to be there now.
Yes, that's it.
Visiting the wife's family, and it didn't go so well because we had a horrendous thunderstorm the other day, and
I believe it was travelling the way we were travelling. So that's why we got cancelled. So literally, we were at the gates. We'd been in the airport sort of 3 or 4 hours. We were there all in, I think, for about 8 hours, and then had to come home. So yeah,
mate,
crazy. How are you though? Are you a little bit better?
Yeah. To be honest, this is the first time in probably about a month that I feel normal. I actually listened to the rolling the curtains back just slightly. When we do the recording, so generally it's either myself or Chris or both of us, we re-listen to the episode after Jamie's done with it, with the editing, just to make sure everything's okay. And I listened to the episode back last time and I sounded like Bane. I was so stuffed up. It sounded like shit, and I do apologise everyone who had to listen to me very nasally try to navigate last episode. But yeah, it's the first time in a month that I've actually felt relatively normal.
Yeah.
So it's great. I know. So Stanley and Jem are back tomorrow from visiting her parents, and I know Stanley's got another cold. So it is what it is.
It's that time of year.
It's since he's gone to nursery and Jem's gone back to work. So it's just one of those months really where, it's pretty bad. Yeah. But tonight, there's no Stanley around, so we don't have to do rolling back even further. Every time we record, we normally have to stop for about 20 minutes. We call it a Stanley stop.
Stanley bath break.
A Stanley bath break, yeah. So there's none of that today. And I've got a couple of beers I'm going to drink through the episode as well. So if you hear me drinking, it's just because I'm having a lads' night in. I'm having a lads' night in with Chris.
Who doesn't drink?
Oh, there you go. Sorry, mate. You're gonna have to look at me, watch me. So if you hear anything cracking in the background, that's just me having another beer. So, what have we been watching?
What have we been watching? Have you been watching much? Have you caught up on your AEW yet?
I think there's obviously two things that have happened since we last recorded. There was obviously the AEW. Is it called Title Tuesday?
Yeah.
Title Tuesday. It's quite a good name for an event, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it was just obviously horrible to see Hangman I'm not normally a person to say, is it a work? But I mean, like it wasn't. It wasn't a work. But like, I'm thinking, well, that's a great setup to get Max out to do like a little thing, and I thought that's a great little setup actually.
Yeah,
and it doesn't like Hangman losing through injury doesn't
hurt his character sort of thing. Yeah,
exactly. I thought, oh, this is okay. I can live with that. And then to know it's real, I thought that was a bit...
I think it was like all the tweets that were sent afterwards, you sort of went, oh, actually, this sounds really serious. And then it's good that obviously he's okay. But yeah, it got a bit serious there for a sec. But it was
weird because it didn't look like it was anything. You know what I mean? It didn't like...
Yeah, normally you can tell like something's happened there. But it just seemed, weird one.
Yeah, but and that's why I thought, is it a work? Yeah, because it just didn't look like a concussion injury kind of thing. Yeah. So, obviously, Godspeed to him and stuff. It's just. I say this every time. Hangman for me is the man. Like he should be. You know what I mean? And then this kind of thing happens, and it's just like, oh man.
Yeah,
I do find it so weird, right? That obviously Hangman is not really been given the ball and he's now injured. Okay. So he's going to be off for God knows how long with that. I do find it weird because they are giving MJF the ball, right? They're going to give him it at some point. They're going to give him it and he's going to run. He's one of the most like as of a couple of months ago, he's one of the most untrustworthy people ever. And it's not just his character, right? Yeah. They're giving them the ball to just run with it. It's mad. Fair play. I think he'll be a great champion. Probably.
You think he's going to win them? He's got to, right?
He's got to. But I think it'd be great, but I don't. Tony Khan is just. Even though I call him the wet mark all the time and blah blah blah, but I just don't understand. It's just a crazy business decision.
Yeah.
It's like one of the reasons they never gave it to Piper, right, is because they couldn't trust him.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the difference between him and
MJF? Yeah. If anything, MJF's even more kind of switched on and, he knows exactly what he's doing, doesn't he? So that worries you even more. Whereas Hot Rod is, he was just a loose cannon, so to speak. So... Yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm a bit whatever with it, but I do think he would be a good champion if they can keep him on track to what they want him to be, and he agrees with that. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah,
but he's going to have to tone down his character because it's just, I mean.
To have him as your sort of face of the company in the way he's been recently, it is a scary prospect. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm worried.
And what we mean by that is in the media, he's like effing seeing everywhere.
Yeah,
he doesn't care what he says. Don't give a shit. And it's a lot to do with his character, right?
Yeah,
but he just has to, if he's going to be the champ and take it forward, he's going to have to tone it down. And then if he does, he's not going to be MJF anymore. So
he did make me laugh with his, he even put sort of prayers for Hangman on Twitter, didn't he? And then a couple of days later, he was like, oh, I feel so sick from saying that. That made me laugh.
Funny, yeah. And obviously that they are, it looks like actively trying to get rid of Punk now, from what the dirty sheets say, which is understandable. And I don't. For me, it's no big miss. I'd like the Elite back.
Does he go back to WWE though? I don't personally see it happening, but that's kind of what we're hearing at the moment. So.
That's like the ultimate twist ever. Yeah. Like, can you imagine like him to spite Tony Khan as well?
Yeah. And that's what it would be, isn't it? Just to spite AEW.
Vince as well.
Yeah.
Spite Vince as well, So the only thing with Triple H in charge, I just can't see it.
No.
Because they never
got on. I've never really heard them, have positive things to say about each other either.
No.
So Yeah, it would be a real weird one.
But this is like 2022, man. Like
anything can happen.
Can fucking happen now.
Absolutely.
The world's gone mad.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. And the other thing to talk about is NXT Halloween Havoc.
Yes,
I didn't watch this, but it looked amazing from what I saw.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same. So I haven't watched it. I haven't had a chance, but from pictures, I've seen a lot of pictures of it because of all the, crazy outfits and Halloween stuff. It looked really cool. I will probably try and watch this actually over the next sort of week or so. Shotzi was in her element, wasn't she?
It's just
all about those horror films and all that's just her stick, isn't it? Like really, so.
I just think it looked amazing. I think visually it looked amazing. I think good on them for giving the ball to Wesley.
Yeah, good match from what I've seen.
I think he is very underrated. It's always one of those actually that I've always thought about PC, and I just never got round. Like now, I'm trying to focus the PC. I just it was one of those. He was one of those casualties of should I or shouldn't I? Because I always liked him from the Impact days, to be honest. And now he's got rid of the dead weight, which was his tag team partner. I think the sky's the limit with him.
Absolutely.
It's just a shame he's quite small. I mean, I think he's smaller than Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I saw the picture of them together afterwards.
See how bad Shawn's hair's got now as well.
Shave it off.
Oh,
shave it off.
My God. I didn't think he would. It's that patchy, but it's terrible.
Just, yeah.
But yeah, I honestly, I think NXT, if from what I know of it, I don't watch it, but what I know of it, it looks absolutely amazing. So it's still not going to get me to buy the network to watch it though, sadly, or buy the network, buy Sky, not Sky, BT Sport. No, that's the one.
Same.
To get it.
I've got the network, but not BT Sport. So it's one of the ones that I do kind of usually try and watch every now and again. But yeah, not buying BT Sport, no way.
No.
Too much.
So news-wise,
cards.
Let's go on to cards. So Upper Deck. AEW new arrivals.
Did you
Renee?
Did you go in for it?
Oh, Yvette. Oh, Renee. Now there's a flashback to my youth. I did. Obviously, I got the one and done.
Yeah,
and didn't get
no
the
silver. No, same here. Yeah, one and done and no silver.
I think Jamie was the same.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think he.
I think so.
Got silver either, did he?
It's not in the show notes. I'll admit to that. I did a piss poor job with the show notes this week. But the instance came out. So the pre-deadly didn't actually sell. So the 5 and the 1 of 1 is still there on the website.
Is it still the same price, the 1 of 1?
Yeah, still 99.99.
Wonder if they'll, imagine these new ones sell out and that one's still sat there. Will they then decide to maybe discount it $20?
No, I
think
it's I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I don't know. I'm just so surprised it hasn't gone. It's a 1-on-1 for Christ's sake, 400. It's just in this day and age, that's a steal.
That's it.
I know it's a match card, but it's still
a 1-on-1. Yeah.
So what came out? So Ronda Rousey beating Liv. Yep. This is all from Extreme Rules. Yeah. Carrying Cross, leathering Drew. Matt Riddle on top of a cage with Seth. And Bray Wyatt as well. So they all did really well. There's no 1-on-1s left. There's a couple of 5s. There's a Karrion Kross and Matt Riddle 5s are still there. All the 1-on-1s have sold. And the obvious one to talk about is Bray Wyatt.
The Bray one, yeah. Cool image, I thought.
It's a cool image. It's a shame you can't see his face. It's him with the mask on. But, ultimately that was his first image back, I suppose. Yeah. I think, great for him. Did you get any?
No, none for me.
No, none for you. None for me either.
I'm not big on the instants. In all honesty, I think I've only got a couple. I think I got the Pat one, and that's about it. Yeah. If I'd have gone to like Clash, I probably would have picked those up just for like a memento. But yeah, having not gone, I just didn't see the point. And again, it's like as we mentioned on here before, if the ATP group, if we all kind of go in for them, ATP, I might have gone for a Bray. But it's the sort of thing, if I see it on the secondary market at a decent price, I might pick that one up, but that's about it.
Yeah. No, I not for
no,
me.
no 101s. No 101s this time.
No 101s this week. Actually, no, there is a 101. I have got 101 this week, actually. We'll talk about that in the purchases. Oh. You know what I'm talking about. I did a little swappy.
Oh, yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. So, it is what it is with Bray. I get that he's got a big following and stuff like that, but not for me. No. But Impeccable, I put Impeccable review, but it's difficult because none of us have got any in hand. We haven't ripped any. Yeah. I've done a break. Didn't do so well. No. Struck out swinging. I go into those kind of breaks when they're big money breaks thinking I'm not going to hit anything. That's
the way to do it. Yeah, you got to think you're not going to hit anything, and then it's always just a bonus, Brucey, if you do.
Well, it's like it's either you've made your money back times it between 5 and 20, or you've made nothing. So, to be honest, the break I was on was terrible.
Was it a case? Was it case break or one?
It was
box?
A case break.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was a case break. It was a Two Bros case break. And I think the best that came out of it was out of 10 Mandy. Don't get me wrong, out of 10 Mandy is good, you know what I mean? But the rest of it for the price.
That's it for the price. Is Mandy to 10 that good? Like you'd want even just that one more card that's just better than that, wouldn't you? So
exactly. I mean, they pulled like a Brock out of 75 stainless, the blue one. Yeah. Nice.
They're nice, but it's not. You know, not getting your money back, unfortunately.
No, I do. I still don't like the designs. Mm-hmm. I'm still not a fan of the design. There are massively really good things that I'm seeing coming out of this.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say the price point. I still think that sucks, but I've never seen breaks where they filled up this quickly.
No, this is
and they're still filling up now.
As I think we spoke yesterday, didn't we? I saw one sort of go up, and then I was like, I might have a look at that in a bit, and then it's gone before you know it. Is it because it's like the first real sort of high end WWE stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we had Undisputed with Tops and Transcendent, but they didn't seem as loadily available as this. It didn't seem as mass produced almost. Whereas this seems to be sort of more out there. It's high end, a bit too high end for me.
Yeah, no, I really think it's down to. I mean, I am in another case break for Bron. Hopefully, something comes up, but I'm not betting on it basically. But I do think generally, even though it's not my cup of tea with regarding these cards, and I'm just trying to get it for my PC, the stuff I'm going for anyway.
Yeah,
but generally, I think it's really down to the fact that people love the cards. And that's why they're selling out so quickly. Yeah. I've seen a couple with the BT breaks, one I always normally go on when we were talking about yesterday, Chris. So I'm on break number. So they did 3 breaks I couldn't get into because they were sold out. Yeah. And I think they were doing a rotation of you buy one and you can still go on to the next one. This was the 4th one they've done. It was a fresh one, a fresh case. Yeah. And they just basically said, go for it. So I got Bron. And the 5th one, which was another case, I did want to go for it, but I was playing Marvel Snap and missed it. it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But fair play to it. I think it's a good product. I think again, and I think we'll talk about this in our big topic more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is for people just to get random cards to try to invest in them. I think it is more down personally to people trying to PC someone in order to get one or two of their cards, maybe more. I think if you're trying to invest, like ripping or buying people on the side to try and invest in them, don't think this is the product. So I don't think there's any money. Yeah. There's no money on the table.
Yeah, because it's such a high buy-in price, it doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room for you to make any money on it. Here's a question for you though. So, out of like for me, the three like big cards in this, other than like one-on-ones and stuff, is the stainless steel cards. Obviously, you had the first off the line that were to 15. They were red, weren't they? I think. Then you've got the gold and silver, like. What are they, troy ounces cards in there? So that's the sort of the second thing. And then there's these signatures that are like to do with the dates. So you got like the Stone Cold 1 to 98, I think it's Lita to like 14, or do you know what I mean? That's those ones. If you could pick one of those, what are you picking? Are you picking stainless steel, gold bar, or are you picking one of those like low numbered autos?
I think the gold and silver bar.
Do you think that's the big one?
No, I personally, I think they are big. There are big cards. Literally. If you've seen the actual thickness, they're massive. They're supposed to be toppers. Jesus Christ, they're as half big as the pack. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I think that they're pointless. I mean, like personally, I think they're pointless. If you want to go for one, then great. But what's the point of having a fucking gold bar in a card? Like, what's the point of it? I think it's an optional extra that comes with the actual thing, right? Yeah. I think it's personally. I love the stainless steel. I like the edging. They look like playing cards.
They look really cool.
I think that, and the images on them look really cool as well. I think they're really, really cool.
There's a few real cool color matches I've seen.
Yeah.
So,
when it comes down to the dates, I think they're probably the biggest thing because there's some big ones in there, like really big ones. Not so big ones either, as well. I was trying to work out the JBL one. It's like
what was
10.
it? 10. Is it 2010?
When he was like, but
what happened in 2010 for JBL?
Did he get the Intercontinental title? Is that the last thing that he got? I can't remember.
Is it Hall of Fame? Was he? No.
I don't know. I don't know what it was. It's got him and Finlay on it.
We'll have to investigate that one. Try and find that out.
I saw it and I was like, what? I should have looked into it beforehand, but I do. To be honest, personally, my favourite out of them is not the three that you've said.
Is it not?
My favourite is actually the Legend autos that have been in.
Okay,
I've got my eye on a few that I've seen, and I like the Boogeyman and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think they look really cool.
Wow.
The big signatures on a card, like that's what on-card autographs are there for. You know what I mean? Big signatures, and you get them with the Legends, and that I think is probably my favourite.
Okay.
But they're just ridiculously priced, right?
They are, absolutely. Hold off a few weeks.
What's yours, mate?
I really like the stainless steel cards. I've held an NBA one. It wasn't mine. It was my bud's. And it just felt really nice in hand. I like things that feel nice in your hand. You want to pick it up and you want to look at it. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely on the lookout for some of those. I think I might go for a couple, or not necessarily the first off the line ones. I think they'll probably be a little bit out of my price range, but definitely some of the sort of higher numbered ones for me.
Are we talking SIG or no SIGs?
Either. I'm not too fussed. I just want to pick something up from it, because at the moment, as you said, we haven't really bought anything. I won a giveaway but it was like a Cedric Alexander base card to 49 or something. So, yeah. No.
I bought one. I've bought one Impeccable card, and I'll do that.
Well, I won't spoil it. Yeah,
yeah, but it is a base card as well. It's a numbered base card, but it's just a base card. But I think fair play with people going into this, because if you like it, you like it.
Yeah.
I think more to talk about this in the big topic today. Actually, to be honest,
yes,
I think it's quite relevant to our big topic today.
Relevant.
I think it's very relevant. So we'll get there. We'll get in a sec. Other two things of note: Spectrum. So 2020, it's 2021. So the 2nd of the 11th.
Yep.
Yes,
that's
or
correct.
11th of the 2nd. 11th. if you're OTP.
OT.
Yes.
Yep.
So Chronicles is the 16th of the 11th, or the 11th 16 if you're OTP. Hopefully, but.
I was just going to say Chronicles for me is going to be one I'm probably going to go all in on. I really like it, yeah.
See, I've noticed something. I don't get excited about product releases.
Do you not?
I think it's... I didn't with Upper Deck, right? And I think this is something that actually goes in our big topic as well. But what I will say is, I think it's because everything's been so overpriced. And I know Chronicles is actually quite reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Because everything's been so overpriced, I've just been kind of like, I'm not even sure I'm going to go in for this. I might just go for retail. It's just mostly, it's not because I don't want to spend the money for it. It's just that I don't want all the bullshit that comes with it. You know what I mean? Like open it up, and I'll probably take 2 or 3, maybe 4 cards into my PC.
Then you got
to just
get rid of them somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's either going to go to friends or family, depending on if Natalia's there for Gem, or it will go like just out, into my, basically what I call my skip box outside. You know what I mean? It's just like the never-ending box outside. So, for me personally, it's a bit of a because I just don't know.
Do you know, one of the reasons I'm looking forward to Chronicles so much, obviously there's the price point, which is a little bit more appealing. But in like soccer and basketball and stuff, Prism always comes out before Chronicles for the same year. So when Chronicles comes out, they do like updated Prism cards. So like I'll give you an example. So I support Southampton, as you know. We signed Theo Walcott midway through the season, so he didn't get. I think we signed him in like October, November, or something. He didn't get a Prism card. He was obviously in his Everton kit, or he didn't get one that year. But then when Chronicles comes out, he's in it. So that for me is always like a little like something to look forward to. So if WWE did do it, there might be a few people that have returned since Prism came out that would then get a Prism update card. So some of the people I've been thinking was like Bray Wyatt, maybe. Who else do I think of?
I think it's a bit too early for Bray. But what I would say is I completely agree with you on it, because we do that. Even though they're turning them around really quickly, we are seeing recent updates.
Yeah, like names and...
Yeah, like remember that Marseille and Mansour, whatever.
Yeah.
They did that on the Impeccable cards. And they've only been doing that stick for a couple of months, really, haven't they?
Is it the same with Io Shirai? She's...
Sky.
No, actually, I think it still says Io Shirai, but she's signed it Sky, hasn't she?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. So they are doing it really good. I think ultimately speaking, though, I think Chronicles as well, because they've got the National Treasures. Yeah. Natty
T, as Tommy says. Natty T. Gets me every time.
I do think that will be a good product. I think it will be in line with the select kind of like, I think it will blow everyone's socks off.
Yeah.
And I think I'm probably more excited than Spectrum.
Oh, okay.
So when I've seen Spectrum, and we've obviously seen what cards are coming in Spectrum, they just don't, like, considering we've had Impeccable and Select, and now we've got Chronicles, everything just seems a bit like...
A little bit less...
Well, Panini have one-upped it,
–
before Spectrum have even come out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so kind of feel like they might have missed their shipping, shipping dates so many times, or like their pre-order dates so many times. Yeah, you're right. If they'd have bought that out 6 months ago, June or something, I can't even remember, May or June or something or other.
I think it was May. I think.
Yeah, exactly. So they would have got ahead of Panini then, wouldn't they? So swings and roundabouts. There's a few inserts that I like the look of. The chair shots one. Your boy is on there, number one.
Yeah,
number one in that insert.
I mean, my boy.
Your boy.
I do think that'll probably get I want Jade and Spears probably, but I'm not spending a fortune on it.
Yeah.
I just can't. I don't want to. One, because of the state of AEW, I think more, but I don't know. At the minute, I just have not been excited for it.
Yeah.
It's hard to get excited for Panini because there's so many coming out so quickly.
Yeah.
If it was every 2 months, I think it would actually be a bit better.
Yeah.
But every month just seems a bit like, we're going from this and we're going to that. As a collector, you can't really collect.
No.
it's just like it's the Emperor's New Clothes with Panini, to be honest. I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, Spectrum's coming out before we record next, so we'll probably be doing a look into that. And then Chronicles comes out after the next show, so we'll be looking at that. Hey, man, at least we've got content.
That's it.
That's
absolutely.
We always said we're not sure. Episode 10 was always our benchmark of can we get to 10, have enough content to actually make 10 episodes.
Yeah, it was always a bit of a worry. Like, are we going to just be talking about Revolution for 6 months, or do you know what I mean? So swings and roundabouts, but for our pockets, it's not helpful.
No, it's not. It's just difficult because it's just the money's just gone insane. Yeah, again, it's what we're going to be talking about today. But it's just, I'm not a fan of what's happened in 2022. But I think it's just been electric.
Yeah,
it's just been I think it's been the busiest card year ever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's just crazy. Okay, let's move on to Jamie's corner. I know Jamie's not here today. Much love, Jamie. Just a couple of things from Jamie's corner. So the Got Need group, it's kind of evolved into the Panini Europe stuff
Panini
as well.
debut,
so that's still going.
sort of thing.
Yeah, it's debut, that's what it is. And we're still talking stickers in there as well.
Yep.
So if anyone wants to come in, just ask us and we'll make you a member of that little chat and
there's
try and get what you need.
There's a few deals going on in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People just trying to help each other out, not trying to rip each other off, that kind of thing. So, I think throughout all of us, we've all sort of helped each other finish a lot of the sticker books. I will speak on that in a little while. And now, as you said, they've moved on to the cards. So, if you fancy joining, just shoot us a DM and we'll add you up for sure.
What I would say at this point, I have just moved on to a New England IPA, and it tastes a bit like soap.
Oh,
it's not the best. Not the best. So I might be grimacing while drinking this now. And the other thing as well, which it's a bit of a shame that Jamie's not here, because Jamie's the one that made these.
He got it these done, yeah.
I still haven't got mine.
Have you not? Strike.
It's strike today, so hopefully tomorrow. But we do.
I've got yours.
You've got mine. You've got one of mine. So we do have our own rookie cards.
Yeah.
So we have squared circle rookie cards. Now we do have I think we have some sets, don't we, between us?
Yeah.
What's the breakdown, Chris? I can't remember.
So we've got a 1 to 5 auto each. So they're numbered 1 to 5, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we've got a 1 of 1 auto again. And then we've got so Jamie sent me 2 sets of our base cards. Those ones where the auto is, they sort of say our names at the bottom, But yeah, really nice when you get them in hand, Dave. They feel really nice. They look good.
Yeah, he's done a good job. The boy's done well. Oh, look at that! Oh,
I'm showing Dave my auto there.
It's the first time I've seen it actually, so that's pretty cool.
And there's the bios, and on the back we've got bios. Definitely worth a read for those. Say no more.
But no, it's really cool. We don't know what we're going to do with them.
No,
do we?
We don't.
I mean, it's like we've. It's one of those things that we did not knowing if we should, but we did.
We did it, yeah. Well, even if whatever, I think they're cool.
I think they're great. I don't know. Like, I don't know if people listening might want them as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to sort of touch on. Is we were thinking of doing like a giveaway at some point, but it's as you just said, it's whether people would actually want them. So let us know if you do, but we'll probably get some images out of them once they're all signed and sorted out, so to speak. But yeah, really cool, and it's given me some ideas of future cards. So,
yeah, that's really cool, man. It is really cool. I'm so glad. It's like, obviously we didn't, like, Jamie just did them.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Jamie.
Cheers.
I honestly, I'd never thought we'd have them done, really. Like, it was just never in my mind a thing to do for us. But it's really cool that we've got them. Linking in with our big topic, not big topic, the top 5.
Yes.
In a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe our next one is the rookie card, not past the rookie card, is a triple auto, maybe.
Absolutely.
That would be so cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be so cool. And then, I don't know, maybe a relic card.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know. A beer can. Dave's beer can relic. I don't know. Maybe in the future, I don't know.
But yeah.
I know. Thank you, Jamie, for doing that. That's fantastic, mate. Right, let's get into purchases of the week, Raz's, breaks, and misses. So Jamie was up first.
Do we know anything that he bought?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
One big thing that he bought.
Oh, yeah.
He finally got his hands on the Bliss Atomic that he needed.
Wow, nice one.
So he only needs the Hogan.
He just needs the PSA Hogan.
He did true. He did really well on the price of this as well. So well done, Jamie.
Yeah, nice one.
Really, it's always good when you get a big thing for your PC, basically. So good on him. So go on, Chris.
Oh, it's me. All right.
Dial us in.
Have a look. So I've got a few listeners again this week, doing some deals, doing some, bits and bobs with them. So the first one is from listener Scott. So he put up on one of the Facebook groups pages some like autos and some relics, and they were priced to sell. I think that they all sold very quickly, but I managed to get a William Regal auto from the Best of British set to 25, Charlotte Flair matte relic from Slam Attacks, and 2 Tory Wilson cards. One of them's from the Cover Shots inserts that I've been collecting. So yeah, always happy to add another one of those. And yeah, as I said, price to sell, turned up really quickly. I tried to pay for postage. We sort of we got a price in mind, and then I said, oh no, I'll pay for the postage. He wouldn't have it. And then spot on packaging, top loaded, everything. So yeah, can't complain at all. What else have we got? So I got the Rene card. So I was buying my one.
Oh, Rene, you have to. I bet
my one Rene. But the one Rene turned into a few packs of flagship as well.
Really? How did you do?
The only thing out of those two was Jungle Boy Wednesday in action. So cool. And then a couple of days later, I went back for some more. So I bought another 2 packs, and I think I got some gold Orange Cassidys and like a Nick Jackson Pyro. I think I didn't get much. And then I was sort of like, why? No, stop. That's enough with EPAC. Yeah. I will say that when Spectrum depending on when it gets on to e-pack, I know that I'm going to be tempted by that too. But
that for me is going to be the kick with it. It's because there's the price of the box and there's the price it's actually going to be. I think it would be comparable. Yeah. But when it's there. And
when it's when you're just bored,
when you're just bored,
that's what's been happening for me. I've just been sat there bored and thought, I'll open a couple of packs. so yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to be a cheap rip on e-pack.
No,
it will be $200 plus $300 rip.
Yeah, and it's not like you can just buy packs, is it? It's one pack. So
it's one pack.
Yeah.
So it will be an expensive.
It'll be an expensive being bored moment, absolutely.
Yeah. But one or two or even three of us will do it at some point.
Definitely.
I mean?
So I don't think I mentioned this last week. Cody Rhodes Ringside Select. Did I mention that? I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
No. So yeah, that was courtesy of listener Matt. So big up Matt, helped me out on that one. Was looking for a decent. I'd seen a few, but as you know, they're quite prone to some damage on them. I saw one that had a big print line down it, so I left that one. And yeah, he picked one up for me. So yeah, appreciate that, Matt. I finished my.
They're tough to get. They're not easy. They're not easy things to find. So yeah, good on.
Yeah. Sorry. My sticker album. I finished it because because Panini have finally done the single stickers on their website now. So if you need 5 stickers, you can just order them 20p each or whatever they are, 28p each, I think. You can do 50 at one time, and you will need your code, which is in the front or back of your book.
That's pretty cool.
So I think they can kind of gauge it a little more that you're not and it's a big warning on there, if they sort of believe that you're reselling, they'll just cancel your order. So
fair enough.
Yep. So yeah, haven't turned up yet, but technically I'm finished. I don't need to think about them anymore. So that's good. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. I know that you wanted to finish it.
Yeah, that's it.
So we've all done.
Yeah, all three of us have done it. Yep. This is my first sticker album I've completed since about 1995. So,
yeah, there you
go. What else have we got? So yeah, staying on Panini UK. Every time I see them, Dave, I buy them. The debut cards. So I bought a load more packs, and I'm just right, I'm gonna do this as well. I'm not gonna do parallels or anything like that. I'm just gonna do the base set. And even if I've got John Cena in a red parallel, I don't care. That's going in the folder, and then that's that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to go. I need a base John Cena now. I'm just counting whatever.
So you actually are going to try and get the base?
Just whatever. Yeah, I'm just going to try and get one of each card, whether it's a parallel or base. So,
all right. Well, let me know what you need.
Wicked.
Because I may have bought 18 packs.
Yeah, but that's anyway. It. And I saw where was I? WH Smith's, and I saw the multi packs, and I was like, right. So I bought 15 packs of them, and then I bought the album as well. So
honestly, we're shit. We really are. We're on this show going. This is an absolute. Basically, let's for one of a word. Let's call it 2 words. An absolute tosser.
What have we got?
Of a product. We say this on the show, right? And then we go out and we still fucking buy it.
I'm a sucker.
What are we thinking? What are we thinking?
But even when I'm buying it, that's how I feel. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? I could go home. I could order a Select Blaster for the amount I've just spent on these. But it's just having it there and then, and,
And Select Blasters are, next level. Yeah. They really are. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tough.
What else we got? I've got a couple of. I'm going to be quick with these. A couple of non-wrestling related pickups, but still cards. So I'm adding them. Mm-hmm. So I got a Tiger Stripe card, but it's not select, and it's not wrestling. It is a football, so it's Prism.
I thought you were going to say basketball.
No. So Prism soccer. They did animal prints this year. I think it was in one of their variations. So I picked up Alex McCarthy who plays for Southampton, our reserves. 15 goalkeeper. That's the one.
Yeah,
$15. I thought that's not bad. 15 quid basically. And we share that. We share the same last name, so I've always, although he's shit, I've always sort of thought,
He's had a few games though, hasn't he, over the last couple of seasons?
Yeah. He's been our number one. Well, he's been our number one for the last sort of 2 or 3. He gets pushed out by a few other guys, but yeah, he's not played for us other than in the cup this year so far.
Who's in goal for you this year?
Bazunu. We bought him from Man City. Yeah, he's not bad either.
Off the family Bazunu.
And the last thing, me and my son have opened some Super Mario cards. So Panini have brought out some Mario cards. Again, they're in a similar vein to the sort of Panini debut wrestling ones. There's nothing really overly massive to chase, but he enjoys it, and gives me an excuse to buy some cards. So.
Well, there you go. But that's cool, man. Yeah. Like it's always nice when I hear people opening cards
with kids. Yeah,
like that. It's just cool.
And I've tried with wrestling, but he's just not. He's not feeling it. So we'll do Minecraft. We'll do Mario instead.
I think that's my fear. Is that my kid will be like, "Oh, I love Minecraft" and stuff like that, and I'm like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
I kind of
get prepared for it because it's
that's what kids are into these days. Yeah. Sadly.
And the last thing I've got, and I wish Jamie was here for this as well, because he'd call me out on this. I got my first 1-on-1. Mm-hmm. We got our custom cards. It's got a 1-on-1 in it. I'm counting it. It's a 1-on-1. I've done it. It's before the end of the year. No, I'm not hearing it.
You haven't ripped it. That's the problem. You haven't ripped
it out of a jiffy bag. Counted it. I've done it. I won't hear it.
That's funny. That's funny. But, I love it.
Mission accomplished.
Mission.
Well, what about you, Dave? Have you? Well, I'm interested.
So I've done well. Highs and lows. So the first one is actually not my notes, and I'll do it first because I completely forgot about it, to be honest. So I've been really ill. I would say over the last month with colds and God knows what. So I completely really missed my son's birthday because of it. Like, I just felt terrible. Yeah. I really completely missed my birthday out of it as well. I felt terrible. Sure. But my mate, John, who I normally go to wrestling with, let's say pre-pandemic, my wrestling buddy, John Williams. Shout out to John if he's listening. So he we always go lavish on each other and buy us lots of presents. And one of the presents he got me was a box of Select.
Yeah, that's cool.
So 3 big cards really that 2 that I was looking for. So I got the red and blue Nikita ringside, which is
big card
on the top 10. Well, it's on the top 10 of cards I was trying to get actually. So happy days. I got not such a big card, but I needed it for my PC, and I was looking for it. The red and blue Premier of Bron Breakker. Yep. So that was good. And then the last cards of the actual box itself that I pulled was a Rick Boogs Tiger Premier.
Ricky Boogs.
No, Concourse actually. It wasn't it's definitely Concourse. Okay. So it's not the biggest Tiger print in the world, but it's a Tiger print.
Add it to your ever-growing collection, your menagerie, your arc.
It's quite funny. It's like I now have an odd number of animals.
You've got to get another one.
So I have to get another one maybe. But I am 2 for 2 with Select Blasters and Animal Prints as well.
Shout. Yeah, you are. So
I know Travis was saying, I need to get a hobby box now to try and pull a zebra.
Oh yeah,
and I was a bit like, I don't want to. But
they're on Sports Trading again, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 210, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's a lot, man. But I was just a bit like, I can't believe this. I like the last card as well. I was just laughing.
Even better.
I was like, oh my god. So but that was great. That was really funny, and another card that's going off to PSA.
And that's a wicked present that your mate got you. Any of my mates listening to this, take note. Yeah. Take note of that.
He did ask, and I was like, because we do struggle sometimes. Like, what do we need? And I said, just get a box. And to be honest, it wasn't just that. He got me a lot of stuff as well. So he was very kind to me. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I was just like texting him going, you wouldn't believe, and it's completely
over it. Yeah, that's it.
It was like, whatever, man.
Whenever you tell any like non-card people, oh, look at this, like, I'll tell my missus, and she's like, yeah, wow.
Thing is, though, I do actually like the Rick Boogs cards as well. They're actually pretty cool. Like, he's always got his guitar.
Yeah, that's it. He's always doing a cool sort of pose, isn't he?
It's just always it's very 80s. Yeah. It's very like large man with guitar.
Which then kind of goes with the animal print, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
It was very cool, and I'm glad I've pulled one of the tiger print. I now own 3 tiger prints, which is mad. It's pretty cool.
It is.
So the big one for the week was I did a swap deal with Tom Groves. Wasn't Alyssa, he is now, so hi Tom. So I swapped my FTR dual auto dynamite out 5 for a Sean Spears main features printing plate magenta out 1 of 1 and a Wardlow base auto as well.
You did well. You did well, but that FTR card was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it was very pretty card.
I totally get your reasoning, and I think you probably did slightly better out of the deal in the Wardlow, because that card could be big.
For me, it's a couple of things. One, I had the FTR base dual auto anyway.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that.
So don't get me wrong, I love that. And this is all off the back. This is all like free money on the house, basically, because this is all part of my Mox 1 of 1, right, that I got. So I needed that Sean Spears main feature. So it's really weird, right? So the way it happened was that he came to me with a trade, like a just a couple of cards. I had a couple of dynamites that he wanted. Okay. And I think it's the the cards that you get for completing the sets. Yeah. So the Hangman and Kenny and the Shida. Yeah. So he wanted a couple of my dynamites for those. And I was like, I haven't got them, so that's cool. Swap them. Happy days. But he collects the dynamites in order to get the main feature cards. Yeah. So the printing plates, and he collects printing plates. He's got something over 50 1 of 1, and the majority of them are printing plates. So he's done really well, and he was like, I don't want to swap my. So he had it in his EPAC account, and he's like, I don't want to swap it. I collect them, so I'm not going to want to sell it. I said, well, what do you collect? And he was like, Wardlow and FTR. And I said, well, what is your biggest FTR card you've got? And he said, out of 25. I've tried to get a 5 before, but I just couldn't make it. I was like, got one in my PC. But I need something more, because obviously it's a big card.
Yeah.
And then I said, look, you're going to hate it, that he had like 3 Wardlow cards,
all autos.
So I think 2 were
numbered,
graded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, graded. But I think one's numbered. I think one's number 25. One's definitely graded, and he had one that was ungraded. And I was like, I just want the ungraded one. So he said yes, but that's a big card, because I wouldn't have paid, like, the Wardlow cards are anywhere about 250, 300, and I wouldn't have paid that for a Wardlow card, because I think that's high for a base, and I don't know how much more there is to get out of that card, if you know. So the Sean Spears is obviously the main features for the PC, which is, I mean, I need.
I was just about to say, could I ask what Spears cards do you not have that you need?
Just the 1-of-1s.
Just the 1-of-1s.
So I need base 1-of-1, base auto 1-of-1, and the main features 1-of-1.
So if anyone's listening to that, and you've got one of those cards.
Yeah. So when I got the mods, I was looking around at what I could possibly trade it for. So I do know that the main features 1-of-1 does exist. Can't remember who had it, but they've redeemed it, so it's in somebody's collection. Yeah. I don't know about the other two, if they actually exist. I'm sure they do somewhere, but I don't know if they've been pulled.
Yeah, that's it.
But they're definitely not on eBay. And so if anyone has Sean Spears 1-of-1s, yeah. But I need 3 to complete all of it, basically.
It's mad, yeah. Done.
How bad is that?
It's mad, yeah.
I mean? So I've done well with it, but it's taken a lot of time. And I think I was chatting to Scott about it, and he was just like, it's a great collection. And I was like, well, I've got so many memories. Yeah. So that it started with me trading with Trav, and that's how our friendship came about. You know what I mean? Then, by that trade. I bought the 5 via Trav off someone on eBay, the 5 auto, and then about a month later, he came to me saying, "I've got the 1-of-1 auto base printing plate. Do you want it as well?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, please." So like stuff like that's happened, and I've got a lot of memories. Tied into it.
Yeah, you've met some cool people along the way. You've done some pretty cool trades, in my opinion. Like when you look at the monetary value of the trades you're doing, it's like, really, really cool.
I got the best one is I had the Rio main features 199. I traded it for Tommy for a what was his name? The guy from GCW. Oh my god.
Guy from GCW.
He's now left.
I don't know.
He used to go out with Penelope Ford. I'm having a mental brain. Because I've had a beer.
I want to say Kip Sabian. He's not him, is it?
No, the other one. Before she was going out with Kip Sabian.
Oh, that's going to bug me.
Okay.
You be Googling.
Yeah. Anyway, I had the shadow box of. Yeah, I got the shadow box of that. So the Wednesday in action, whatever. And then I swapped that for, because the Wednesday in action were like really like sought after in order to get
the achievement.
The achievements. So I swapped that for a Daniels autograph, and then I swapped that for the Spears main features out of 25.
That's what I mean. So it's just like a cool, like you've just wheeled and dealed your way to this awesome collection. So
pretty much.
Joey Janela.
Joey Janela. Thank you for that. There you go. I've done a lot of work basically in order to get where I am.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It hasn't all been money going everywhere. So it means a lot. I swapped a couple of Seth Rollins cards for a Natty Select Pink out of 49, which is a great colour match. And that was one with one P Bear.
The head of the card table.
You might know him. I snuck into his DMs and went, oh. The thing is, right, it's quite cool because he collects obviously Seth. And I thought like one of them is like the gold Seth out of 50 from Chrome 2020.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I know he loves that stuff. And Natty's obviously for the missus.
Yes.
So
that colour match.
I've done this all. Yeah.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah. But I've done this all for other people. You know what I mean? I've just I knew that they would both be happy with it. So happy days. Keep everyone sweet.
That's it.
All good times. The one Impeccable that I bought was a Shinsuke base gold out of 35, which looks strange. It's because he's got like.
Is it
black suit with yellow and
green,
like orange.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's yellow and orange with a lightning bolt down this front, and it's the gold parallel as well. It just looks really odd, but I think it's really cool. It's the one big thing like with Impeccable. I love the base cards with the basically the full picture of them and the shadow in the background. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I do. Two Bros Impeccable case breaks, struck out swinging. I do have another one with BC breaks, which is coming up tomorrow night.
That's your Bron one, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, that's a Bron one. I did buy Panini debut. Got lots of cards for you, mate, so just let me know. And the only other thing as well, I did finally get my Sidemen 3 boxes.
Oh, was it 3 boxes?
Off topic. So I bought the 100. So both Tommy and I bought the one. So how they did it was they put it on sale for a month.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 30 quid for a box.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But it was pretty much double in order to get a box with a relic, with an auto inside, but they only did 100 of the boxes.
Right. Was it that they did they not sell?
No, so they did. So what? So the one in the 100 boxes sold out basically instantly.
Oh, right.
So Tommy got one and I got one,
Yeah.
but I bought another 2 like boxes without the auto. In it. In retrospect, I probably should have done it with the auto in it, but that's how. That's what I did. I think I did all right. They basically sold whatever they made. You know what I mean? So whatever they sold, they would make basically. Yeah. So they did I think they did quite a lot because there's a lot that's gone up. The boxes of wax are like treble the price.
I was about to say they're doing numbers,
ridiculous.
aren't they? They really are doing numbers. So
it's been great. So Tommy was like, I just don't want Vic Star. And he pulled a Vic Star. Fair play to him. He pulled it out of 20,
wasn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he did really well. I said I pulled Bez, and I pulled Bez. In fact, I pulled 2 Bezes.
Oh, wow.
My auto out of the 100 was a Bez, and I pulled another fucking Bez out of one of the other ones. Yeah, the exact same card.
Yeah.
So my one of 100 was, one of 100. The box out of 100, which had an auto in it, was out of 150, and I pulled one out of 250.
And what was Tommy saying about the auto? Was it not inside the box or something?
So it was inside the box.
Okay.
So the box had 2 separate compartments.
Right.
So there was the base, the set was actually in its own packet. And the auto was separate to it.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was thinking it was like a completely separate package, and I thought that sounded a little bit. I
thought that as
weird,
well.
Yeah,
yeah, I thought that as well. But I mean, theoretically speaking, you could have got 2 autos, so you could have got the one that they inserted and the one that's in the packet as well. You just didn't know. So, but yeah, sadly, I was obviously after a KSI.
Yeah.
Auto if I could. I didn't care what it was. There's one on the interweb at the minute.
I was just about to ask, is there any up?
There's a KSI out of 15 for 500.
Oh, okay.
And I actually do think that's a steal.
I was just about to say, I thought it would be more than that. He's such like a global star now that
I'm like looking at that thinking that has got more like out of any card of like wrestling I've seen, that has got more
like upside
in it in a year, 2 years time, depending on what. I was chatting with Jamie earlier on, and basically those lads have got into so much. Like it's not just YouTube and whatever;
it's everywhere at the moment.
They're global, you know what I mean? So it's pretty big. But the one big thing I did get out of the pack, which I got a couple of number cards. I got a Mini Minter, I got a Zerka, but I did get an AKA, which is kind of like a special off-base insert of one of KSI's characters called Sir Theodore III, and it was out of 50. And that's it's chrome as well.
Ooh.
It's worth a fortune.
Is it?
like I say, worth a fortune. It's probably worth about 150, 200
That's a lot, yeah.
Prices. You know what I mean? It's brilliant. And I've been trying. I had my eye on a one out of 100 of something else. I offered 50 earlier on for it, and it was instantly declined. I was like, okay, so it's fine. But yeah, I think those cards, a lot of upside to them, but we'll see. Nice. Okay, let's now get into the big topic. So the big topic this week. And we had a little discussion about this week.
Me and you kind of went back and forth for a few minutes, didn't we, on this?
Yeah, we did. And I think it's got some value in us speaking about it. Just because I think it's one of those open-ended, because we're both not going to be right.
No, because we don't know what's going to happen. Hell, yeah, that's it.
So the question I kind of laid down this week is, are we in a bubble caused by a false economy of 2022? Well, are we in a bubble / caused by a false card economy of 2022, and will it pop in the future? So the reason, I'll just give the base of this. So 2022 has kind of been a perfect storm of things that have gone on, right? So it's AEW's first year, and they've only had really one. I'm not counting EPAC, right? Like not in a minute, but they've had one physical product
release
that has been out. The release itself, the prices of the boxes went up astronomical from what they should have really been. In retrospect to what happened with Panini, with Prism, they didn't go up that high.
No. Thank God.
We're all bitching at the start of the year, going. And then we had obviously Panini in April.
Yes, April.
And Prism was the first one. And the prices of that went off the fucking charts. Like, we're talking a K&a-half. Nobody, I thought, could envision that actually would happen. We've had subsequent releases of Panini at varying different prices over the last couple of months, depending on the product. The prices of cards on resale have been all over the shop with regarding, and I would say that they are not double. I would say in some respects they are 5, maybe 6 times more than I think they would have been in a tops release on a resale. What else has happened? There has been obviously a change of a change within WWE.
Yeah.
With obviously Vince going, WWE is now cool again. Now that Triple H is in charge, it is now a product that is
it's on the up, I would say.
Where AEW is potentially on the way down over of recent events. So it's been a perfect storm of change. Yeah. Some good, some bad, but the prices of cards as well as you have to include what's going on eBay.
Yep.
What's going on Whatnot, even though I'm not a fan of Whatnot, but it's just what's happening on Whatnot, and what's going on with the breakers as well. Obviously the pump and dump and blah, blah, blah. But you take all that into consideration. My view, personally, is that it's the landscape has completely changed within a calendar year.
Do you mean like from the end of the tops sort of dynasty until now? Because obviously that was like
not just tops, just
cards in.
From what we were, well, I mean, like there was only one player in town last year, and that was tops. And fair play, they also did have Slam.
Yes,
you know what I mean as well, like. And now we've moved into the fact that we've got AEW. Obviously, really, the only driving force of AEW with Upper Deck right now is the EPAC. Is not with the actual physical, really. I mean, you say that you bought 4 packs in the last couple of weeks, right? And you've got Panini releasing a product
once a month.
But the thing is, the kicker is for me. is that it's not only a product once a month, it's a product of varying degree.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they've gone big release, smaller release, big release. I'm not saying that, you know, Revolution is a small release or Chronicles or whatever or NXT, but that's how it's coming across, isn't it? And it is annoying because these big releases are, you know, a lot of money. They're not something you would just go on a whim. Oh yeah, I'm going to buy a £500 box. Do you know what I mean? And the lower priced ones are kind of what our top end used to be, if that makes sense. Like with the Topps hobby boxes, you were looking, you know, 100-ish, that sort of price.
Well, I'd say even more.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a box of Select 210, right? Yeah. I mean, other than a few products from Topps, Transcendent and Undisputed, there was nothing anywhere near that,
nowhere near, no.
So I do think the landscape has obviously changed. That's the one thing I think we can agree about, right? The landscape has changed. Some ways for the better, some ways for the not. I do think a lot of it has changed with regarding there's a lot more focus on parallels with Panini than there is of the autos. Yeah. There are some banger autos, don't get me wrong. And I think, obviously, this Impeccable thing that's happened of late, it's all been about the autos, you know. So, but what I'm saying, and this is my point, I think, more than any other, I never thought we would get into this year and out of 25... and out of 10 and out of 5 would be 5-6 times more than where we were last year. Even though they are fantastically looking, don't get me wrong, right? They've done, especially with Select, with the tie-dye being the 25, the gold being the 10. I think they've been 2 brilliant cards, right? But one, for me, personally, as a collector, it's not sustainable with the prices being that they are.
You couldn't go in on every release, could you? Let's be honest. Or if you did, you'd be spending a lot of money if you're going after those kinds of cards every time. So my question to you is, do you think, so fast forward 1 year from today, what do you think? Where are we there? What's the landscape look like?
And that's the problem that we've got, because we don't know. Because, like, nobody could have forecast this perfect storm that came this year, right? Of like AEW should have been the cards that inherited the earth. We all thought that was going to be the case, right? And it hasn't been. Panini's knocked it out of the park. WWE is now the go-to like product over AEW.
Oh hell yeah!
Like, there'll be a lot of people out there right now going AEW loyalists for life, and to be honest, I'm wearing AEW shirts. I'm not wearing WWE shirts. You know what I mean? So,
the thing we pay more attention to, in my opinion, is AEW, but it's just these cards, man. You know,
I mean, it is what it is, right? It's don't get me wrong. EPAC has been great though, but you can't build a company on just EPAC, right? Not really. So I do think it's challenging to say what it's going to be like. Obviously what we do know is the price of for Upper Deck.
Yeah,
the price of their flagship was over half price less than it would have been for this year's flagship. Yeah. So that it's going down. There's less autographs in there though, isn't there?
I think so.
It's less money. The kicker for me is that obviously Panini releasing what they're doing, but the Panini price is all over the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, it's because they're fluctuating from product to product. It's difficult to say where we're going to be in a year's time. What I would say is that I think it has drawn a lot of attention from people in a good way and a bad way. So I think as a collector of wrestling cards, I think it's been good to see more people to come in the hobby and to talk to them, right? And to build relationships with them, trade and sell, whatever. I do question right now as well the people who have come in the hobby in this last year, whether they've come in because they're a collector
or
of the hobby.
Yeah.
Have they come in to make money? Which there isn't, in my view, money to be made.
No.
Because you're buying cards for a premium price, you're not PCing anyone, and you're potentially buying them for an investment. There's no investment to be had in my view.
No.
Not really. Unless you get like one in, I'd say at 99.9% of the cards, you're never going to make that big money on.
No, and I mean,
Never.
You could maybe look at my box of WWE Select, the hobby box I bought, as an example of that. So it wasn't the best box. Do you know what I mean? What is it? 2 autos and a relic. So my autos were Zach Gibson, NXT UK, and Bron Breakker, which kind of saved my box in all honesty. Yeah. But Bron Breakker was just a base. It was, like a base auto. And then the relic was Kevin Owens. I don't even think it was numbered, to be honest. It was a cool shirt match relic where like the picture on the card is the same as the shirt. So it actually looks like it's the shirt in the picture.
Yeah.
But wow, yeah. I mean, realistically, I don't even think I'm maybe making half my money back on the Bron. And that's with me sending it to PSA as well. Do you know what I mean?
And then swapping it to me with
exactly.
but no, I get where you're coming from on that. It's such a difficult one because I don't want all this stuff that's happening this year to actually kind of mean nothing going forward, but I just have this horrible feeling that I feel it in my plums. I really do. I feel like something is not right.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it now, but I think we'll see it over the next year.
Yeah.
I think one thing is that is very evident. People have got too excited.
Yeah, and it happens every release, in my opinion.
And what this is happening with Panini's, because it's every month, people are like, oh my God. And it's not just FOMO, it's this excitement that's coming into them. And the money's just there with people as well at the minute. And they're just going hammer and tongs. No matter how bad the economy is in the world right now, everywhere. People are still finding that money. People have been sitting at home for 2 years. They've got the money to go and spend at the minute. But I don't think it's going to last. I think
it will be really interesting to see Panini Prism next year for WWE and just see what happens with it. Do you know what I mean? If the same exact thing happens with it, or if it starts out at like a lower price and, slowly works its way up when people see the value. It's just, I think Prism next year will be the telling kind of release as to where we've come and, where we've been in a year.
Thing is, though, it's, for me as well, Prism is like the worst thing about it with regarding the false economy side of it. It's because it's I was tracking, and I'll give you an example of this, right? I was tracking the Dolph Ziggler 1/1 black on ATP eBay. ATP?
I've seen eBay. It.
And it went for, I believe, about $400. So that, it's not even the nicest card in the world. It's not a color match. It's just it's a black base card basically, right? A year ago, I bought on OTP the image variation 1/1 Chrome 2021 of Dolph Ziggler for just over $100.
Wow, nice.
Don't get me wrong, it's
still
a great buy. But that card, in my view, looks way 20 times better than the Prism that's just gone for 400.
Crazy.
Now, that in my mind is a false economy of cards. Because there's no way in hell, and no offense if any of the listeners here have actually bought that card. Fair play to you. I was tracking it. I did want that card, but I was never going to pay $400 for it. And I was surprised it went for that much. We're talking about Dolph Ziggler. You know what I mean? Like, there's only a couple of people that I know through the cards community that actually collect Dolph Ziggler.
For me, it's just you and Danny.
Yeah, I know Brian Chairs as well, and Kim likes him as well. But there's only a few of us, right? And fair play if you've got the money to spend on it. And that's the thing is, like, that was on a bidding. That was not a buy it now. That was bidding. So someone must have bid. You know what I mean?
It must have been more,
just under that amount to go to that.
Someone
amount.
else has got it up to that amount. Definitely,
it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, and that for me, and that's why I say Prism is like the worst thing, because it not as the product itself, although I do think it is a bit sketchy and some, like the dimples and the printing lines.
Yeah.
It's not the best product to have in hand, I think. But
it bends.
What
too bendy.
Yeah, it does bend. It's very bendy cards. But I don't believe that it's worth the value. And I think that for me, Chris, as well, is the most interesting thing of what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, just to see.
Because will people...
And for us, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you want to buy wax, and you want to buy a wax at decent prices. You know, if Prism Hobby came out and it was, 150, 200, I'm buying it all day.
Yeah.
But then if the interest sort of flails and no one's, as bothered, I suppose it then hurts your resale value. So it's kind of weighing up. And it's like what you said, are these people here to make money? Or are they here to collect? Because, like, obviously we're collectors. Like, I have, my whole life I've been a collector. So, I would personally, I could give a shit if the prices went down and you could, I would like it if you could pick up one-of-ones, how you picked up that Topps one. Do you know what I mean? For just over $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be paying these crazy prices. So, yeah, it's a weird one. I think as well, because it's been the first year of Panini and WWE, I think that's played a big factor in it. Panini in the last, since 2020 really, have just been astronomical. They've just gone to the moon, haven't they? So it's, weird one.
I think one of the smartest things I ever heard someone say this year about it, and this is Bruno from BCB, and a load of time for Bruno. Every time, I don't even think he knows that this podcast
Probably
exists, but he's a busy man.
He definitely is.
But he's a very busy man. But I got a lot of time for Bruno because I think he's a very smart man. And he said to me, on his one of his breaks, and this is what I took away from one of his breaks. He said, I've spoken to a lot of people within the hobby. If it's vintage, I'd get it graded. If it's new, I wouldn't get it graded because there's no money to be made. And if a breaker, he's got a lot of knowledge about, and he does show after show after show.
Constant,
he's got a load of knowledge within that man and a load of connections as well. And if he's saying that current has got no money in it, like with regarding getting grading, then why would you do it? You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I've got new stuff going in to be graded. You know what I mean? And I probably
your grading is more for sort of PC purposes, isn't it?
I might sell the John Cena elephant if the right price, or trade that with the right price that comes out of it, maybe. But the majority of it's just going to be for PC. Everything I collect is PC. I'm not buying stuff to sell on generally. I haven't got the space to do that. That's one thing. But what I would say is very interesting, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen. And I have just got this bad feeling at the minute that next year is going to be very telling. But to be honest, we'll only benefit from it, Chris, because if the prices go down, it's like whatever.
Wicked.
But I just think that the heat will go off the product, and it will mean the community shrinks and the prices shrink as well. But that's what I don't want. You know what I mean? I don't want the community to shrink. I want it to get bigger. But I do have this horrible feeling that, the heat is going to fall off slightly, sadly.
Well, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on then to this week's top 5.
The top 5.
So this week's it's triple autos.
Triple autos, not rookies.
As I've put on the show notes. I had a bad week with the show notes, to be honest. Sorry. So
should we start with Jamie's?
Yeah, go on. You do
Jamie's. Why don't we take it in turns? I'll do 1. Oh no, I'll do 5. Sorry,
you do 5.
So 5. He's got Topps Finest 2021, the Bloodline.
I don't know if it was actually classed as the Bloodline. It's obviously Reigns, and the Usos.
It is now, but back then I don't know if it was because it's
them 3.
It's an amazing card. Like it's who wouldn't want to own that the way that they've been going this year, and I really like it in orange. I don't know why. I just really like the orange parallel of that.
I'm not against it. I don't have an affinity for the Bloodline.
No.
But I do appreciate that is a massive card. And anything with Roman in it is going to be a massive card now.
One little thing I thought about this card is if it was Roman, Solo and Sammy, or Roman, Sammy and Paul Heyman, that'd be a real big card for me. I'd really like that, yeah. It's the Usos. I'm not that big on the Usos.
I mean, the thing is, I always used to hate the Usos because every time I went to a show, they were always on the show, and I've seen them probably wrestle more than probably any. They're up there with the 2 I've seen wrestle the most. I think. I don't have an affinity for them. I think they're okay, but them 3 with obviously the tribal chief, I think is a very good card, and I think it definitely has top 5. It has mega 5 on it. It does. Even though
it's not, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's a difficult one, but it's for me personally because it's just not my
the same.
team, but okay. So number 4 is a card that was never released, which is baffling in itself. I think it was supposed to come out for the 2015, from what I could find.
That's what I could see as well. Yeah,
and so it's seen AJ Lee and Paige.
It's random.
Is it the fact that it didn't come out because they couldn't get AJ Lee signing?
No, because in that same year you had AJ Lee, Paige, and Emma. So Emma replaced John Cena.
Cena. Yeah. Okay. Was it the fact that the mock-up was a bit screwed up then maybe?
No idea. So it's just a random mix of people, I thought.
Not if... with
for
Cena, I don't think it's a random mix. Cena gets everywhere. Go on then, number 3.
Topps Legends of WWE 2018. So this is the one he wants on. It's the three faces of Foley, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind. It was in my shortlist, and the only reason I didn't, I think you mentioned it earlier on off air, we just seem to love Mick Foley, and every sort of top 5 he kind of creeps in there. So I thought, no, I'm going to try and spice it up a little bit. But I do appreciate that it's kind of the same with the Bloodline, that it's such a big card that it kind of needs to be in there.
Do you know what
I mean? It's I'd love to own it, but
it's one of those, for me personally, it's one of those where it's a lovely card. I do think it. Jamie obviously has said to us that that's his favourite card. I've got nothing against it at all because I think they're all good autos. It's just I am getting a bit bored of Foley on our list
and
now.
that's
but it's not his fault. You know what I mean? It's nobody's fault. It's the fact that he's had some really good cards. It's just I think pound for pound, Foley is always up there. Scary, isn't it, really, if you think about it?
And I've just looked at my list and he's on mine at some point. I've just realised.
Yeah.
We got number 2.
He is. So number 2 is the Shield from 2018, which is quite late for the Shield, isn't it? It's a lovely card. There's a couple of Shield cards, and this is
when they reformed, or was that even later? I can't. Was that?
I think it's definitely. Yeah,
it might have been. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. The thing is, I didn't like the reformation of them. I liked their first run. I thought it was really good. I didn't think that they should have come back. It felt really forced. I don't think any of them wanted to do it. Personally, I think they were just sold up the road with
the only thing that I remember about that whole run was Kurt Angle being in the Shield. I don't really remember much of the matches, or
wasn't he?
He was.
It was over here. I think Triple H.
Triple H did it one time, was it a house show or something? He did, yeah.
It was, and he was over here doing.
So I kind of liked. I kind of liked that, where they'd honorary Shield.
I was at the O2 show when they did. Sorry, I'm pouring. I was at the O2 show when they flew in the helicopter, and it was the Shield versus Undertaker and Team Hell No.
Okay.
That was a very special moment, and I got. It's just I didn't like their second run, and that kind of puts me off. Really, I think they were a good trio. I think they'll probably go down as obviously the biggest trio because of what they've done in their singles
careers, and
So and how big Roman is now and stuff like that, and I don't know. I think it's a tough one. I'm just not a big fan of Mox. I think that's what it comes down to. Old Rollins, I liked before he did this whole freaking thing. I know he's chewing the scenery like Al Pacino. He's got a great ass. You've got your head all the way up it. He's literally turned into Pacino. Yeah. It's really weird. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Go to
number one.
Because I've got this
Leaf Pro Set 2022 triple threat. Hogan, Flair, and Austin. We don't even need to say anything about this card, do we? Really?
Yeah, it may come up again in our lists. It may do.
Cool.
Go on, Chris. Go on.
Mine. I'll be honest, I'm going to pull back the curtain here. I read through mine again last night, and I was looking at pictures, and I was doing a bit more research, and I'm a bit like, I don't know. Mine's pretty random. But I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to own it. So for number 5, Topps Legends WWE 2018 again. Triple H, Stephanie, and Kurt Angle. Kind of a little bit of a random mix, but I've always loved Kurt, and I really enjoyed back in the day when I was growing up. I really enjoyed Kurt's sort of dynamic with Stephanie. I thought they always worked really well together. Same with Steph and Jericho. I always thought they worked really well together. And it's a bit of a personal one. It's just 3 people I like. I don't see it making the Mega 5, but it's a cool auto. And one that I'd like to, I say this all the time, I'd like to get my hands on that one, but we'll see.
The only thing that puts me off is the Trips,
the signature
picture of it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not the signature, it's the picture. Yeah. The one he's like
has he got his leather
weirdly crooked neck. It's because he's bald. Bald. He has no hair, and he's got like this weird. So that picture is in Top Slam a few times as well. And it's just like, his head is got a weird angle.
I'm just looking at it now, and I probably won't ever be able to unsee that. Yeah.
It's just really weird. It doesn't.
It's like his body's pointing one way and his head just unnaturally pointing a different way.
Yeah. It happens in quite a lot of the photos, actually, with not just Trips, but like with people. I think it's because his body's out with like kind of muscly. Yeah. And it's very off-putting that his head doesn't fit what his body's doing, basically. And I do prefer him with hair as well, personally.
Steph looks pretty mean in it, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, as I say, the 3 together, the autographs, really well. I think their dynamic has always been really good.
That's it.
It's just that that image of Trips just kind
push you off a little.
Yeah.
So number 4, Topps 2017, Bailey, Sasha, Charlotte, the 3 horsewomen. Again, it's just one I thought is cool on like a personal thing. I'd love to own it. I like all of their autos, and I like all the images they've used for this one. I just feel like it could be like a real centerpiece of someone's collection. Do you know what I mean? Like you could have that right there, and then you could kind of build off from it, and you could have, you know, whatever autos around it, and it would just be like a real nice sort of central thing to look at. So yeah, it is one that I've thought about, but it is not cheap. I found on blowout forums, like an old blowout forums. I think it sold for like $120 or something. You know,
that's not too bad.
Exactly.
Today's price is about $700.
Yeah, I was about to say this was in 2017 or 18 or whatever. Yeah. So it's like looking back, I'm like, wow, if I'd have seen that then. Number 3, I've gone for TNA TriStar 2009. Kurt again, Kurt Angle, Sting, and our boy Mick Foley. He's made it in.
He's made it.
Yeah, again, it's like a cool mix of guys that I all really like. There's a lot of triple TNA autos, and I had like one that had, I think it had like Bobby Roode, who did it have? Kazarian and Daniels, I think, on it, and I kind of sort of tossed and turned, you know, between the two, and I decided to go for this one just because of the star power of it. It'd be a cool centerpiece. Probably more of a PC, like personal one for me again, but I never knew it existed, and I do the same thing every time we do these top 5s. I find all these cards that I never knew existed, and I'm like, wow. But yeah, I would really like to open some TNA cards at some point.
Yeah, I see them occasionally come up. But yeah, I think the problem for me with that card is just, it's not the card itself yet. Again, it's the history. Is that because I was more in definitely the 2000s and the 2010s. I was definitely more of
WWE.
No, Impact. Boy, I was always Impact. Like I watched Impact since the start, so I always was Impact over WWE. And then, but that is like the
point where you kind of
where Foley came into it. Like this is the years of obviously Hogan, Bischoff killing everything. Foley came in, became champion, like basically straight off the bat. It was kind of like the dark days of Impact. It was like everything that they built.
They kind of shit all over it to a degree.
But AEW doing the same. We're getting all of the WWE stars in. You know what I mean? Everything that they've tried to build, they've done it really. Like it took Impact quite a while to really properly fuck it up, but AEW seem to have done it in about a year and a half.
When you say it like that, actually, it does sort of bring a good point, because it's 3 guys that I really like, but I didn't like any of them, in this era, 2009. You think Foley I liked in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. Sting was the early 90s and the mid to late 2000s for me. The 90s for me. And Kurt Angle again was, the Attitude Era. So it's just the guys on it. It's, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But then when you put that spin on it that you've just done, I do see what you mean.
The thing is, it's the Foley element that does it, because when Foley won the title, I was just like, fuck off. like this is ridiculous now. But I did looking back, and I still do to this day, love the main event Mafia. I think that with Sting and Angle and Booker T, Nash and
Steiner.
And, Steiner, that's it. I love that. I still, to this day, have very fond memories of that. You had to be a champion in order to be in the group kind of thing. I thought that was it was very NWO kind of thing, with regarding like the people coming in were obviously from out of town basically as well. I did like that. I think a lot of people hated it.
I liked it,
I liked it. That was that era as well. If it was Sting, Angle, and Booker T, I think I'd like the card more than if it was Foley. It's just the Foley aspect for me is a bit of a
whereas that's it. Yeah, me. I get it. I'm just going off of the name, so to speak. Yeah, but number 2, one that one of us had to have in, surely. One of the best tag teams in the last sort of 10, 15 years, the New Day. So Topps 2020 Road to WrestleMania, the Pirate set, I've called it.
It is actually the Pirate,
isn't it? Yeah,
very much.
It's cool. So the triple auto looks like a treasure map, Pirate's treasure map. So I just kind of thought when I was thinking about things, and I was tossing up between sort of the OC, the New Day, the Bloodline, all these different factions, Undisputed Era. I went for the New Day gimmicky card with the pirate theme and a gimmicky team. Do you know what I mean? They are what they are, and you can't really dislike them, in my opinion. You can dislike some of the aspects of it, the pancakes and stuff, maybe, but you can't deny that they've been a great to watch. At points over the last sort of 5 years or so.
Who? What are you, a fucking owl? Another Al Pacino comment quote there. Thank you very much. Heat.
Boom.
Yeah.
Who? I will say this set gets a bit of heat. Not a lot of people, I don't think they like this set. From what I've read some comments, I've seen some stuff said. I really like it.
It's one of the most hated.
It is, isn't it?
In the last, I'd say, decade. It's one of the most hated sets.
I think it's really good.
It's just,
I would love to rip some at some point. I think where I'm a bit of a major mark in terms of for like Angle and Ryder, not Angle, Hawkins and Ryder. I think because it's got cards from their sort of WrestleMania win and things like that, it kind of tips it in my, the way things I like. So, that's number 2. And then number 1, it's the same as Jamie's. It's the Leaf Pro set, Hogan, Flair, Austin.
Did not see that coming at all.
It's a cool card. I love the card itself. I like the images used. There's cool coloured parallels as well. So my favourite is the red, because I think Hogan red, whatever. Jamie posted his one that he posted a picture of was purple, which I thought kind of worked. Flair, I kind of think of as purple. I kind of associate those two together. So you can kind of swing it that way. And I guess if there's I don't know if there is, but if there's a blue parallel, that's the kind of colour I associate with Stone Cold. Cold. Cold, yeah. Freezing. Cold. They've all got nice autos. It's a grail piece for any collection. Can't see it on the horizon for myself, but anyone who thinks they need it, just get it. It's cool. I would say, and I think it will be a solid pickup for like years to come, is what's the deal with the quad? Have you seen the quad one with these guys in, and then they've shoved Kenny Omega in there?
Yeah.
What's going?
Trav's got
it's
that.
Just, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get the relevance. It's just weird, in my opinion.
The thing is with Trav, when he got that as well, I think, like, fair play to him. For him, it's like really big cards.
I absolutely,
on it.
I see.
The only thing is, what I would say for me as well, Kenny Omega has been like, even though I'm Bullet Club through and through, but his version of Bullet Club is not my favourite.
Yeah.
I've never been a massive fan of Kenny Omega. I don't have really much of his cards.
No, neither.
I've got a few, not a lot. I have not got any autos or anything like that. I can kind of see that he is potentially. I mean, he's multiple champion of many different. Like, he's massive in Japan. I can kind of see why he's on that, because he is quite famous. However, it's like, if you're talking about that,
I think
if you're talking about another auto on
it's
it,
just weird. It's the Rock.
It's the Rock, or it's Cena.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's not.
And it's for me. It's not even like I really like Kenny. I think he's excellent to watch.
Yeah,
but it's not it's not the right era. It's if you put Roman, Kenny, and whoever this similar kind of eras, Daniel Bryan or someone on a card.
The thing is though, Austin's not. Austin's not.
Yeah.
I know he's, but like I always associate Hogan and Flair with a lot earlier.
Same.
Even though he was still around.
I think of those guys as 80s, early 90s. I kind of forget that Flair was still around in the late 90s. I know he came back to WWE in the sort of early 2000s. But it's more of a sorry, I just kicked a drink over. It's more of a era thing. I just think Kenny's so out of that era that makes it weird. So yeah,
I think it makes it more unique to have that kind of thing. Obviously, you've got 3 there. If you're going to have a 4th, who then do you have? This thing as well, if you've got to think about who they had the rights to
absolutely.
as well.
And they don't do a lot of wrestling, so they maybe just, thought, right, let's...
I mean, they have done Brett. They have done Brett, and I think Brett could have been on that card easily, even though his relationship with Hogan wasn't the best. But it could have gone either way with someone else. I think... I mean, who else do you have? I mean, you could have put... I mean, Jericho could have been on there, maybe. Because he is a legend. I mean, Christ. But I don't know. I think time will tell with Kenny as well. Like, I mean, back in the day with Austin, back in the day with Hogan, you know what I mean? Like... It's his current era. Do you see what I mean? Like, give him 10 years.
Yeah.
What are we going to think about Kenny Omega?
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you. He's not the superstar that any of the other 3 were.
Yeah. But anyway.
But I think it's a very unique
It is.
card.
It's random.
Yeah.
So yeah, but number 1 for me is that Hogan, Flair, Austin.
Yeah.
So over to you, Dave. What? Yeah.
Okay, mine is a bit out there. But I thought of most of these like before I'd obviously made this up on the last podcast regarding this. So I'm just having I'm getting messaged by Travis, and he's just one of the messages was "Hello, ladies." So I don't know what he's messaging me.
He heard us talking about his card.
Hello, ladies. Okay, so the number 5, I don't know how to say. I don't know this guy. I think he's quite imaginative with his cards. So it's kind of an indie card or create own card. So Corey Bastion's card. It's a dual auto with Tugboat, Typhoon, and Shockmaster. I think that is amazing.
It's wicked.
I love Tugboat and Typhoon, not necessarily Shockmaster, but Tugboat and Typhoon are a lot of my youth.
Yeah, same.
I've got a lot of time for that card. I probably need to get
preferred Typhoon to Earthquake. I saw Typhoon and he looked like a nice guy, whereas Earthquake I was always thought looked mean. So
I loved those the natural disasters as they were. I loved them the Hasbro figures. Same. I loved like the tag team wrestling of the Hasbro figures.
Absolutely.
They were great. I love that. It was great. I love like the big men tag team. I don't think we have enough of them anymore. I know that Otis
Heavy Machinery, wasn't it? But
Heavy Machinery.
I really liked
they never
them,
really, but they never really got off the ground. That's
so you couldn't quite get off the ground.
Couldn't get off the ground. But I honestly, I do like big men wrestling kind of thing. I think it's and I think they're great as a tag team, to be honest. So I love that card. I do need to get it at some point. I haven't got it yet, but I do.
When you sent that, I was like, wow, I need this card. It's really cool.
Have you not seen it before?
Never seen that. No, never seen it.
You never seen it before? Okay, I'll see what I can do. I think they get like 35. I think it is. That's but I think that's a steal, to be honest, for that. So I'll see what I can do, mate. I'll keep you up to date with it. So number 4, WWE Finest 2021, Drew, Sheamus, and Wade. I know you don't like the card, but I know like you're not a massive fan of Wade.
Yeah, that's it. I've got some bad news for him. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. So I love Wade.
That's fair.
Like, I'm so gutted that it's really weird. Like, he got really skinny, and they changed his, like, it was like the souvenir, which I thought was a great name for a finisher, and they changed it to the bull hammer, which means nothing to the Brits. What the fuck is a bull hammer? Like, it's such an American thing, and it just really. And then they did the bad news. And I think that was It was I think that's what sealed the deal for me. I just oh god, this again. Yeah. But I love Wade. So I got to meet Sheamus and Wade at the WrestleMania 28 on the Access.
Yeah.
So and that was great, and I've met Drew multiple times. I think through local shows and stuff. So I've got to meet all of them. I've got to say hello. I've got pictures with at least 2 of them, and you know it's fantastic. You know what I mean? So to see the British boys / Irish boys in a as a triple auto, for me personally, I think it's awesome.
I mean, again, it was on my shortlist, and the only reason I didn't put it on wasn't only Wade. I'm not massive fan of Drew. I like him, but not massive fan of it. And it's did you say it's from 2021 Finest?
I believe so. Last Finest
design of the card. I'm not a big. I really like Finest previous years, but last year's the last Finest I was not a fan of. It was too jazzy. Too jazzy.
Well, it's the same as the Bloodline as well. I mean, it's that. I prefer those cards, those triple auto cards, on some of the triple autos that we've seen from WWE over the years. But as I say, the Finest year, it was like Saved by the Bell.
It was like bowling alley carpet kind of thing. Arcade,
really
you know,
a lot of triangles. It was very Masonic, actually. I think there's a lot of Masonic ideas gone through a lot of 2021. To be honest, if you look at not Finest, Fully Loaded. Yeah, that's got a lot of triangles in it as well. Very Masonic, very Masonic. I'm not a brother, but you know, I think there's a lot in there. Number 3, Top Slam. I know I'm breaking the rules. So I see.
Jamie had one,
and he was like,
but Jamie had I'm disqualifying Jamie's one as well as Cena, Page.
Okay, fair enough. But it's The Rock, Cena, and Reigns, which was an award out of 10. I forget what the actual set was. I think it was Fire. But when are you ever going to see The Rock, Cena, and Reigns on a card, right?
Imagine that as a physical card. Wow.
Oh man, like the triple autos that they did was just ridiculous. And I know they're all digital and they don't really exist in the world at the minute because it's all been archived. But they won't be at some point when it goes back
to them. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll come out of archive, I think. I hope. And I honestly, like, it's just ridiculous. When are you ever going to see that card in real life? You know what I mean? So, number 2, TriStar Tenacious, 2012 Impact, AJ, Joe, and Daniels. I think I think everyone's going to know what my number 1 is, but that for me is one of the biggest triple autos. Sorry, dual autos.
Dual autos.
Well, that's two less. So that for me is probably one of the biggest triple autos I'll ever see in my life, because that period of TNA was just ridiculous. That was the height of TNA, right? And to have all three of them on a dual auto, God, again, triple auto is just, for me, it's just outstanding. Like, the only thing I think that let it down, and I think but the thing is with all of the Impact stuff, is that the pens they used were rotters. So the autographs themselves look a bit diluted and pale and a bit
fadey is what I would say. And how time will affect that as well. You kind of wonder, don't you? But still, I think I've said it about all of yours. I had that on my short list. I've got a picture of it on my phone. Really cool card. I really like it.
Jamie did as well. He did it, and like he showed a picture of it. He knew about it, kind of thing. And I was like, "There is one. I know about it. Here it is." And he was like, "Oh Christ!" But I, for me, if the number one didn't exist, this would be by far my number one. I think, because it just means so much to me of being a wrestling fan, because those three defined wrestling for that period for me. There's so much love for that wrestling. It's just crazy. I'm not a small man wrestler lover normally, but that was just a lot of fun, to be honest, back then. And number one, I'm changing it up. So it's Leaf Pro Set 2022 Triple Threat Hogan, Flair, Austin. Who knew that we would all do the same one?
Not planned, but
not planned. I don't have when it comes to this kind of thing, I'm an equal opportunist. I don't have a favorite color. I think they're all amazing. It's just brilliant. I mean, Leaf doesn't get the love it deserves.
Doesn't get much love, does it?
Is this the first time we're going to have a number one with
I think
Leaf?
It could well be, yeah. I think
Crazy. So. Ironically, my favourite Leaf card, we'll talk about Leaf cards earlier on, but my favourite Leaf card is the Hogan Hulk versus Hulk. The Hogan versus 1980s Lou Ferrigno. That's it. Joe Ferrigno. Weirdly, he was just on. I'd just been watching a show called The Offer, which is on Paramount Plus, which is how they made The Godfather, but like serialized. And it's over 10 episodes.
Nice. I might watch that.
And yeah, it's quite funny actually. Like there's one thing that happens in it that I do know that actually happened, and that's so basically the Gianni, one of the actors, beats the sister up real on set, and they get James Caan, the dad, to beat the ever living shit out of him while they're recording in the alley scene where he beats up the brother-in-law. And I do know that happened. I always thought it was kind of like folklore-y kind of thing, and they put it in there, and I was like, shit, it actually did happen, so that's cool. So that was kind of but the reason I say that is that Lou Ferrigno was in that. And I was like, great, he's still alive, he's still kicking.
Good old Lou.
Sorry, I know that's a tenuous link there, so I'm sorry. So okay, let's mega five it.
Let's do our little countdown clock.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, countdown. So, right.
Can I just before we start, I want to just do a couple of honourable mentions.
Oh, really? Sorry, I didn't know you had honourable mentions.
Sorry.
Go.
So
Shoot.
there are some cool quad cards but we're not talking about 4. For way too many. The OC, I was really tempted. You spoke about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the 11. Yeah.
So Undisputed Era I spoke about quickly. There's a cool Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Anderson. I don't know if you saw that from TNA.
There's so many from TNA. TNA like have
crazy
got so
about
many triple autos.
Anderson's autograph is insane. I really like it.
The Beautiful People was on my shortlist just because I thought the Beautiful People were all fun. To be honest, they were on my shortlist.
Then there was like a Lesnar, Goldberg, and Bischoff one that I thought was quite cool, but I'm not a big Goldberg fan. And the Card Foundation, we've both got their triple auto. Oh, yeah. Johnny, Danny, and Papa Bear. So I thought I'd give them
I know those guys.
Give those guys a quick shout out. But yeah, there you go. They're my honourable mentions. So Mega 5, what?
There was one actually more because Sam mentioned it the other day. And I did find it, and that was Shark Boy.
Yeah, Curry Man. Who was the last one?
And it was Super Eric.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
It was, and I saw it the other day, and I thought, oh, Sam would like them at that mention of that.
There you go, honourable mention for our boy Sam.
Yeah, well done, Sam. So Mega
Number
5,
1
obviously, you know what one's going to be. It's easy peasy,
absolutely.
Right? It's tough. It is tough.
It is.
Because I do, obviously, AJ, Joe, and Daniels needs to be in there at some point.
I've got that in. I always do it. I always try and write it down.
Go on. What have you written it down
as? I have gone Flair, Hogan, Austin, obviously number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna put my own number 2 in. So I've gone for New Day. Then I went for Foley. Then AJ, Joe, Daniels. And then I couldn't decide on the last one. I've got Bloodline, Tugboat, or Sasha Bailey, Charlotte. So,
right, let's make a deal. I do think so. Hogan, Flair, Austin, number 1. I'm gonna say.
He
but
doesn't.
We're not putting the Shield in there, though. That's the problem. It's really tough because I'm going to break the rules. I don't give a fuck. So I am going to say, okay, break the rules. I don't give a fuck. Hogan, Flair, and Austin, number 1. 2, I'm going to say the Shield / all of the Foleys in number 2. Okay. I'm going to say you can have your New Day in 3. I'll have
AJ Joe.
AJ Joe number 4. But 5, I want Typhoon and Shockmaster and Tugboat.
I'm on board with that.
That is an awesome card, man.
I just thought it was quite funny that like Bloodline for Jamie is number 5 and yours is Tugboat. Yet I still just think it has to go in. It's such, if you see the card, the Tugboat, Typhoon, Shockmaster card, it's so cool. It's a really nice looking card.
I like Corey Baston. If you ever hear this, like, I hope I'm saying your name right. That is
nice work.
Obviously, and I love as well, like independent cards, create own cards, whatever you want to call them. I'd always be on their side if it's a good card. And I don't give a fuck if you're like Tops, Panini, Upper Deck. I don't give a fuck if your card isn't as good as the one I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Then you're not going to be there.
Okay. So I got a little thing here. So we've got Flair, Hogan, Austin number 1. I say we put Foley at number 2, and then I say number 3. We have the Shield versus the New Day. Winner of that gets number 3. So we'll leave that to them to decide who's going to win that. 4 AJ, Joe, Daniels, and 5 Tugboat Typhoon.
Yeah, okay, fine. All right, move it down one. That's fine. Yeah, it's just it is difficult putting Foley again in the Mega.
But he's
5
not number one. I feel like he's been number one on autos, and has he been number one on colour matches? Was it, or he was up there?
It's just annoying that he's in the Mega 5 like all the time. But I know, and it's not the fact that he doesn't deserve to be in. It's just.
I tell you what, though, if we'd done dual autos or quad autos, he's not in there. It's just because he's that 3 faces of Foley and all that. It's kind of his thing, isn't it?
That's true. Right. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
We've done it.
We've got the list. I tell you, it's really annoying. I haven't been keeping a long list of all of these, so I'm going to have to re-listen to a lot of the pods.
I've had to do that a couple of times.
I need to start getting the numbering down, because leading up to Christmas, obviously we're going to have a Christmas episode when we're going to have to review all of these and see if what we want to do is
when we do it. If you start at like episode 10, I'll start episode 1 and we'll meet in the middle and try and share the workload. Try and find out.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah. Or we hope and pray that Jamie writes them down. I feel like he does.
He's never told me. I'm always seeing him scribbling when he does, but I haven't got the full list, so I'm going to have to listen to about 7 episodes, I think, to get it. So it's easier now because it's like at the end, we're not doing the big topic.
Yeah, that's it. We know exactly where to look. So cool.
So happy days. So that's cool. That's cool. So we've kind of got to the end of the show. Next week, big topic / top 5.
So it's my week. So I've wanted to do this for a while. In all honesty, top 5. I want to do favorite inserts. So any set.
I already know what my top one is.
Well,
I already know.
There you go.
Man.
So favorite inserts can be any at all. So there's been some good ones. And big topic, I guess, depends. I mean, we should have product by then. Whether we would have opened any personally might be different, but I'm sure we would have seen some breaks. And do you think?
Tommy would have. Yeah. Tommy would have got. Yeah, Tommy would have
Matt,
got some.
I think Matt's got a couple on order, so I'm sure he'll let me know what he's got.
Yeah. I definitely do it on breaks. 100% if they get done.
And obviously, if that's not quite, if we don't, we haven't got that much to talk about. Something that I've wanted to talk about for a while. It's kind of like hobby. I want to say hobby guilty pleasures. Or like little weird things that you do. So, do you know what I mean? So I'll just say one today that it's relevant because we've kind of spoken about it already today. Is Tommy sent a picture earlier of some empty packets. Yeah?
Oh, that was
you.
Me.
Okay, so you sent the picture of some empty packets.
Yeah. Someone's selling them.
But, Tommy had his little comment.
Yeah.
I'm one of those weird guys. I keep everything. I keep all my boxes. I keep all the packs.
No way.
And I am the goal for me on the packs, for instance, is to do some sort of like cool art project. I just haven't quite figured out what or how I'm going to do it yet. So it's just a weird thing that probably not many people do, but I do that.
I mean, like, good on you. It's just I find that really weird, and that is very quirky.
So I like
that is definitely up there.
There you go.
That is definitely up there. No, don't get me wrong. I have my quirks, but like the way that everything is structured within my collection, for example, is a fucking quirk.
Exactly. So, like, I think Jamie, top loads everything.
I think Jamie's going to be the quirkiest of us all, mate.
He gives me some good ideas.
He's out there, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's out there as well with a lot of stuff. I think we all are in our own way. It's just, it just is what it is. But it's good.
But yeah, that's it. And I don't take offense to like Tommy basically calling me weird earlier. I just, I see it as I know full well that I'm weird. So.
Weird.
It's just one of them things.
No, I find that weird.
There you go.
Don't get me wrong. I do find that weird, and it's not. It's just because as soon as I'm littered full of the stuff. If you break it, especially if you break it while you're recording it and stuff like that, the least thing in my mind is to keep.
No,
stuff.
see, I'm the opposite. I'm thinking, I hope I can keep this pack looking like at least half decent, so that when I come to do this art project, because I'm thinking of ideas I've had are like maybe a table, like a little coffee table with like a resin, like you get the packs all looking nice, covered everywhere, and then you pour resin over it and let it. Do you know what I mean? Something like that, or I don't know.
It's weird. We've all got our facets. Jamie's the technical one, you're the creative one, and I'm the loudmouth one. We've all got our facets. It's kind of funny. We've all got our
there
things.
You go.
Right?
So
it's cool.
Something to think about, and think of any more weird shit we do. So cool.
Yeah. So we've reached the end of the show. Links wise, it's. Do you want to do Jamie's thing, or do you want me to
go for it? You go on, sure.
Okay. Well, we're online. Squared Circle Relics Podcast. We're on Facebook. We are on Instagram. Come and find us. Come and say hello. We do have our Got Knee group, which is on Messenger at the minute. So we've got a lot of that going on. At some point, we will do Twitter as well. Yeah, it's just not on the.
I've just personally, I've just joined Twitter for the first time. So yeah.
Oh really?
So,
well,
there you go.
Yeah, a lot of trolling and a lot of argumentative people for no reason.
I'm trying to keep it strictly wrestling cards and wrestling, but yeah, we'll see.
Tough, man. We have got a lot of things that we want to do coming up. So we've got a lot of new ideas coming off of the back of episode 10 with regarding different segments coming up.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, I've got a good one, haven't I? That's it's kind of, we need to have a good chat about it. We need to have a good chat about what is going to go on, what we want to contribute to the hobby going forward as well. I think that's the next thing. And we've got specials that we want to do as well, which we need to start planning, which we haven't done. So we keep on threatening to do a
Japanese special.
Japanese special. I just saw a message from Jamie, and then it finishes with "Love you, Naka."
What have I got?
So yeah, we need to do a Japanese special.
Yeah,
that's funny. So we do need to do a Japanese special. That a Joshi special that will be done at some point in the near future, and we'll get a couple of guests on to do that as well. I know there's a couple of people that want to do that. Don't forget as well, at the top of the show, I said Icon trading cards.
Yes, Kendo. They
do have the Kendo Nagasaki coming out on Thursday. There's only going to be limited numbers because Chris and I have bought most of them. So there's going to be very limited numbers. So make sure you get on that because it's just ridiculous. It's like one of the biggest cards we'll see this year, in my view. So other than that, Chris, have I missed anything?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Go on, Chris.
So as always, so now I'm also Cambridge Trading Cards on Twitter. So if you want to add me, I think I've got about 4 followers. So yeah, I'm not big on the world of Twitter, so I'm trying to slowly learn how things work and such. I'll be straight with anyone listening. I've kind of had a little hiatus from my opening cards on my YouTube for a couple of weeks. Just had a bit too much going on at home, as you heard about at the start of the show. But I have got product to open. It's just getting the chance to do it. So keep an eye out in the next sort of week or so, 2 weeks. I should have something new up there. And on Instagram, I'm Cambridge Trading Cards. and I have been trying to do a little bit more Instagram. But again, it's one of them things with social media, isn't it? You got to know when, actually I need a day off from this just for my own personal reasons and, mental health and that sort of thing. So do it all in balance. That's my advice, is take some time for yourself and do what you need to do. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
That's sage, Grasshopper. Very sage. Very sage. No, I do agree. Social media is very
it can be
sometimes. I would say though, the card community is very positive.
That's it.
It's like the porn community.
Everyone loves porn.
Very positive. I'm still looking at Jamie's messages. It's hilarious. So you can find me and D_Lloydy on Instagram. That's where I reside. If anyone wants to come and say hello, please do. Bring beer
or cherry Coke. Peanuts. Bring OG cherry Coke. That was really cool. Yeah, I love that. Loved it.
So I posted the other day the late 90s / early 2000s cherry Coke can.
Such
the red
cool
one
design.
With the black. I just found it the other day. I was like, oh Christ! But it feels like a lifetime ago.
Absolutely.
But it's not that far. I remember all of them actually. Looking at them all, I remember all of the cherry Coke cans. Shows you how old I am. But pretty cool though. Ridiculous. Although I am a Pepsi cherry person. That's my favorite out of isn't it? But that's how I rock. Guys, thank you very much for joining the show. Chris, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
And fuck John Cena. Laters.
Take it easy.